What we're doing today is something we've been kind of referring to on the videos as the muriatic acid treatment over on that other side. Well, we're on the other side. We're outside. It's mildly warm today. I got a sweatshirt on. It feels pretty nice out here. And I got some hours to kill, so I'm thinking this is a good chance to do it. You gotta take the proper steps here. One is some good gloves, the muriatic acid itself, obviously, disposable brush, a cup to put it in. This is just an old paint cup. And then we want a mask of some sort, and this some sort would be a mild, this is a mild respirator up to a full-blown respirator. I don't think a regular dust mask will work. At least have the little situation on there. I notice you don't smell it or seem to be too affected by it, but you don't want to breathe this stuff in. It'll give you issues with your lungs and all that. So we're going to get to work here. Probably did this for a solid hour and 10 minutes, just over it and over and over it. And there's occasions where you'll get some of this still. This is old rust. This is part of the original pan, and that is really old rust. And you'll notice it's eating a lot of that away, but there's still a little bit in there. And it doesn't hurt to take one of your little brushes now and then and give it a good scrubbing. It'll turn into like a milky brown color. And then you just keep on going over it that way, and that will take care of a lot of that. Now if you notice, it's looking really clean. Very, very clean. There's still some little area up here we're going to keep working on. That's old rust as well. All the new rust, so to speak, is gone. It's just this old stubborn stuff. Some of that up under there is old. We'll be able to seal that, I'm sure. This stuff I'd like to get it as clean as possible though, because that's going to butt up right against this outside panel when we put it on. Everything else could be neutralized and sealed. So we're going to work on this a little bit more, and I went ahead and even jumped up here and got a little bit just to knock it out, and it's cleaned it up really well. A lot of this right here up to the paint line, and this is a little low area, so I'm letting it soak in there. And a lot of this you can tell it's just kind of melting away. So go a little bit further, then we're going to neutralize it really good. scrub it down, and if we have to do some more, we'll isolate those areas. We've gotten the big part of it done. Alright, so we just got an old rag. We put some of this baking soda water. I'll show you how much water I used here. There's not very much in there. It comes to, let's see, just under about 3.5 liters. Let's say 3.5 liters in a whole box, Arm & Hammer, pure baking soda. Just the whole box dumped in there, stirred it up really good where it mixed in. And continue to wear your gloves because this will take a bit to neutralize. And you can hear it. And you want it, if there's any seams, you want it to get in the seams really good. And just flood it if you have to, because you want it to not cause you issues later. And just give a good scrubbing. And you can hear it sizzling. I would say as long as you quit hearing it sizzle, then you'll know that you've got it good. So just stay in one area at a time. So we'll do this top part here and get up in the seams really good. Any of these joints, anything like that, just get it in there good. And once you do it again. Just let that water flush it out. So what you've been watching is on Friday, early Friday evening. Now we're on Saturday morning. You saw me clean all this off really good. And one reason you want to do that is if you're going to put it back in your shop, particularly, you want to get all that muriatic acid out. Otherwise, anything that's bare metal, whether it be the fan or some of your tools, it'll corrode them a little bit or put like an oxidation on it. One thing I'm doing here, I'm just going through and kind of sanitizing it in a way just to get any residues off from the baking soda and some little issues where there may have been some moisture. Excuse me, I got a little bit of I don't have the coronavirus, which is a big thing right now. I'm going to coat most of this with our rust encapsulator. I've got the templates made, so we got this one here. I've had these made for like a month and a half now. So that one will go there. And then this piece will be the one that goes right here. And then so we'll get all that fastened together. Okay, so I've had the camera off for actually a few hours. I've just been doing a little bit of touch-up things I've noticed before I really get into the next phase of this. And you got the welder out. I was just feeding some wire into these little gaps just to keep moisture out from the backside when we do cover this and seal that up. So I'm kind of letting it set there. The plan of cutting all the pieces out here and having them ready, I've been doing that. I've been spending most of my time. I built this piece here, and I got a piece here I'm going to fill in. I'll show you from the inside. I had a portion kind of designated across here, but I decided when I got picking at it that I was able to peel this little flange off of the wheel well. And since that became easier, I thought, okay, let's just go ahead and take that off. I'll be able to clean this up now really good. And I've got a piece bent, made, everything ready to go for that. And I'm getting ready to cut a piece for this one that goes up against the wheel well. The holes, that'll be against the wheel well, and this will be the part of the floor. Yeah, it's ready to go. I just need to trim the backside or shave it out a little bit. Alright, so we got started on our welding. I got this plug in. We just have to smooth it down. I went ahead and sanded all this down up in here, wire brushed it, degreased it, etched it, dried it really good, and we put some of the internal frame coating on it. It's a little thinner, so it helps get in places like this where I didn't cut it out. And just put like a heavy concentration and it just runs down in there. It's really kind of soupy. Alright, so I got all this coated up. I even drilled some holes back in here, drainage holes like are on the other side that the factory did. And then you put a little cap plug, plastic plug back in behind there. So that I could be prepared for all this. All the black and the green, you know what that is by now. That's an encapsulator, the Eastwood product that we use on bare steel and rust. And I've got the panel here that goes up there. It's kind of strange because you run into these little things that makes you scratch your head, and you don't want to act on maybe the first assumption you get of what will be right, because you just might be screwed up. But this panel right here seems like it's about that much too short. Now what happened when I cut this off originally, this body line that flows down through here, and it crowns out right here, so it would stay about this far above the floor here. I even got a measurement, 16 5/8 from that body line here down to the crown of that body line that rolls down through here and goes up over the wheel well. Alright, so I had that measurement. I also had this measurement from the flat underfloor part here, which is very straight, all the way down to here. 9 1/8. That's what the old one was, right? Okay, 9 1/8, 9 1/8, 9 1/8, 9 1/8. So this, the little lip should technically, but right up to this, and then you pinch weld it all the way up down through there. It's not happening, it's hanging down too low. When I did temporarily tack this piece, let me put these welds on, I don't want to hack it up. And when you line that body up, curve, and get it up down here, and you go to this body line right here up to there, I've got 16 5/8. So I drug out my old scrapped out pieces that I cut off of here, which was a mess. It was cut up in 2 or 3 pieces. It was all rotted down here. That's why I had to rebuild all this, because it was just rotted out. All the dirt and water had eaten it up. And I looked at them and I stuck them back together best I could, and the measurement comes out the same as this. So I don't know if this needs a bit more of a sharper radius to it. It seems to match the wheel well here. So what I will do, I know we're good up here. There's just something going on. If I have to put an extension down here and make it work, I will, but it doesn't make much sense. And right there is where it matches. This is actually a little too wide. So I'll probably have to cut it and bring it in and then re-weld it basically. So, you know, it's what you're dealing with anything aftermarket. Just eat a little bit of it away. And I know there's better ways to do this too, but this is all I got. Right about there. Let it cool down a second. Seems to help some. Not just hanging her on 2 tack welds. And really what got it was there's a little gap here that's about 1/8 of an inch. That's a little too much for my liking. But I think what did it was when I went to fit this on originally, it was just like I'm doing now. Is this is a little too wide here than this would have been. So I hooked it in and it's about 1/8 of an inch hanging out that way. So it hooked on here and it threw my measurement too far that way. I could have been privy to that probably if I just cut a little on the conservative side of this, but I didn't, and so I'll have to probably put a patch in or try to bridge weld it. And you don't want to tack it too much to where it's hanging out like that. You want to at least kind of encourage it to go in, because by the time you get those welds on there, it'll want to kind of stiffen that way, and then you doing this, it'll have a bulge in it. So. So we're getting to a really icky part of this whole situation here, where you kind of feel like you don't really want to do it, but you know you got to do it, otherwise it's all keep moving. Things are getting real weird around here, and what are getting weird is where I've been attacking that. We've got this situation where it looks like it needs to go up to here. I took this measurement off the original piece before I cut the old one off. So this lip should technically go up to here. So we've got a little bit of a situation going on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let that hang for a bit, because it's just too much of a mystery right now. Especially when you got another piece that's going to be involved, and we want to see if it fits any better. It might give us a little bit of a guidance. So here's our rocker panel, and my one gripe about the rocker panel was when it came in the mail, I don't know if it got stepped on or what. The box didn't look that bad, but it almost looked flat. Well, this, you can tell it kind of juts up like that. So I gave it a little bit of a bend. I think it's going to need a little bit more. But this flange here goes up against this one. And that's looking alright. Really, it needs more bend, like I said, because when it comes up around that contour, it should match up about right there, and you push it in and weld it. But we got this thing over here. Now, we dealt with that on the other side in 3 places, technically. The centerpiece that we grafted in, and then the other piece we did last week, the little downshoot. Well, this one's no different. I could probably make that and set it aside, and then I'll have to make this downward piece here, and then outside of that I know I'll have to rebuild our running board again from about here probably back to here. Best thing to do is recreate these pieces and then get it to where it fits and contours right, and then cut it all out and then repair everything underneath it and then start building upward back. So I'm going to go ahead and start that part of the project. So this is turning into a big project, at least a big video, I guess. I might have to split it up. Yeah, so right there, you know, I was talking about that piece. That does at least need to go there. So like I said, we might have to build this down as an extension. It's strange to me, so since it is right now, I'm just going to work with the rocker panel. And if you're looking at how that fits up from that angle that you're at now, it would be something like that, which looks alright. It's okay. And then we'll get the bend on here. But the piece probably needs to come here. It looks like it was kind of boxed. Came up to here. I had to cut a little bit of that away, but most of it was just gone. I guess there was enough debris in here and it set up and got wet and rotted it out. And so we'll push on through it. And here's our pieces. A lot of this has been torn out. Again, more than I expected it would, but there's something about these areas where there's an intersection of strength, I guess, and moisture over the years. So it really has gotten to this one. So it's good that I went ahead and jumped over here to this part before I went and nailed this down. There's a little bit of a mystery to it still, but I think I'm just gonna words escaping me right now, but I'm gonna try to figure out a way to make this work. I do have, as I was cutting these pieces out, the ones that look pretty rough. For instance, we have this one here. This is the back wall that once we clean all this up here, I have a new piece with a little extra material there that will go on. This is my template, so it will go right here. Once you get that one, let's say right there in place, it will, I'll probably have to stick it here in behind there and get the spot welds in, and then bend it over and then spot weld it here. And then we have this piece which has a flange as well, and we could spot weld it to this section right here, and then it'll set up on top of this ridge like so. Alright, now a minute ago you saw me make the piece just for here, but when I did that I decided, well, we need to extend it this way. So I'm going to keep that piece that I made. I actually already made a metal piece. So I'm just going to butt it up to this one, weld it, and put it all in as one. And it'll have the ridge, or the little drop off right here. If you're looking back in here and wondering what's going on, this piece is part of the whole structure that goes up on the back side of that. Right down here it's pretty rough though, so I went ahead and chopped it loose, and it wrapped around here. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to leave this hanging. I cannot get into a position to cut it out. I don't think it's necessarily, it kind of bothers me that it's there like that, but I did pull it back off the metal, and then we will treat all this steel in here where it was rusted, and that included. That was also visible from back in here. It's that bottom piece. It's all very structurally sound there, the way it's been put back together. So I'm not real worried about that. We'll just box this back in as we need. And here's the other pieces. It'll go like right there on top of the board there. And then we'll have this one that'll go in. It'll set up about like that. This one here will go on top of the whole panel there. And then we even got part of this drop down pinch weld seam. It'll actually get cut right there, and then it'll fit in there, and we'll make it all smooth and nice. And on this one here again, when I had cut all this out originally, and a lot of it was rotted away, this part I had cut it off, so I went ahead and extended it because there was a flange here, and so that's why it drops down further. I believe it also had something to do with, once you have it up here, here's your little update as far as watching this video where we're at. So it's a lot cut out. Put my whole foot up in there, but I think it'll come together all right.